So we're going to be working with the body-mind complex, the 5 bodies today. So let's begin by just getting grounded in your chair, or if you're seated on the floor, that's fine too. But finding that comfortable position. And let's begin by just breathing, inhaling, filling up, letting the air flow down into the belly, and exhaling, drawing the perineum up slightly, pressing the last bit of air out of the lungs, and then inhaling, just a smooth breath, no holding. And exhaling. And take a few more breaths as you do this at your own rate. And as you're breathing now, I want you to breathe into the heart. And exhaling. And imaging as you breathe into the heart, that holy child within you, your immortal, essential, perfectly potential being that contains your divine self. You might image this as the holy child, or you might image it as a dancing god or goddess, whatever it is that seems appropriate today. Form a picture of that, this being in your heart. And offer prayer to this being in the heart, this highest being, this divine self, that today you might learn a little more about this miracle of being that you are. Then allowing yourself to just leave that being seated in your heart, directing you throughout this meditation. Drop your awareness now down into the earth, all the way down into the center of the earth fire, and allowing yourself to connect with that, the source of your physical energy, your zhur, your life force. And you can take a moment as you're breathing and feeling that connection between the very center of the earth, the fiery heart of the earth, and bubbling spring on the sole of your feet, that point just behind the ball of the foot, between the first toe and the big toe. Feeling that connection and imaging the earth surrounded by this beautiful atmosphere, the Po, the breath body of the planet. And you might think about the fire at the center of the earth, which gives this transforming, powerful, potent, creative force that powers your physical body. And you might think about the body of the earth being interpenetrated by its breath body, which holds the patterns of all the species on the earth and holds the pattern for we humans on the earth. And allowing yourself to then image flowing up from the earth, this energy of the Zhur, the life force, carrying with it the Po, your breath body, your own pattern, that flowing up into the soles of the feet, connecting you, anchoring you, the Zhur, the life force. And we can take a moment and we can feel that life force, that Zhur, spreading out into the bones of the feet, activating the marrow, spreading up through the ankles, the ankle bones, into the two bones of the lower leg, singing in the bones, awakening the marrow, the deep immune system, flowing through the knees, the patella, into the femur, the upper leg bone, singing in the bones, awakening the strength of your legs, the Zhur, the life force, your physical drives, and coming up to Hui Yin, a point on your perineum, just behind the testicles, just behind the jade gate, in the center of the perineum. And here, the three great extraordinary vessels emerge onto the surface and connecting at that point, Hui Yin, returning in. You can feel that energy, that Zhur, which flows upward along the middle of your body on the surface, the conception vessel, flowing up the center, activating and grounding and empowering your yin, flowing over the chin and into the base of the tongue, inside the mouth, where that yin meridian ends, and then putting your tongue on your palate and returning your attention to Hui Yin. You can imagine it flowing up the back of your body, the center, up, flowing up the spine, all the way up the center of the back of the head, the center of the top of the head, flowing to the third eye, going inward to Niwan Palace, activating the metronome of your being, your physical unfolding, flowing down mysterious paths and coming to the tip of your tongue on the palate, the yang of your body, and returning your attention once more to Hui Yin. You can think about the penetrating vessel, which is moving up the center, in some cultures called the inner flute. And as you inhale, you can draw the energy up. And as it reaches the solar plexus, it spreads out into the chest, spreads up over the chin and into the face. These three great extraordinary vessels that direct the development of your body when you are an embryo and maintain it throughout your life. Returning your attention to Hui Yin, allowing the energy to move now into the tailbone, flowing upward into the sacrum, spreading out into the pelvic bones, which join in the front at the pubic symphysis, the pubic bone, forming the cauldron of life force. And you can also feel this chi flowing into the testicles, into the ovaries, awakening the physical creation, the physical creative energies of this body. And returning your attention to the sacrum, allowing the chi to flow upward, allowing the zhi to flow upward, up into the spine, the lumbar spine, and you can rock back and forth a few times, pumping it through the lumbar spine, awakening the spinal cord, and allowing some of this energy, the zhi, to flow into the kidneys where the zhi is housed, the navel chakra, and you can connect there with your own physical energies, allowing it to keep pumping up from the earth, refilling your physical zhi, your life force in the kidneys, and feeling your connection to your lineage, to the ancestors who have come before you, the ancestral chi. Allowing the energy to flow up through double pass into the thoracic spine, into the rib cage, activating the spinal cord, activating the marrow, pulsing upward into shoulder blades, collarbones, the long bones of the upper arms, the two bones of the forearms, the small bones of the wrists, the long bones of the hands, and the finger bones. And you can feel that connection, the zhi, the life force, moving out through the arm bones, allowing you to touch the world, to influence the world. And allowing yourself to return your awareness to the spinal cord, which pulses with the zhi, which flows up through the bones of the neck, activating the marrow into the brain stem, out to the surrounding skull, into the brain, and keeping your tongue on your palate, rolling your eyes gently upward, circling the energies in the brain. The zhi, the life force. And again, imaging your connection to the earth, just breathing and inhaling this up, pumping it through the whole marrow, the spinal cord, the brain, into the kidneys, into the reproductive organs, breathing it in, exhaling, dropping it into the bones, dropping it deep into the bones, deep into the kidneys. Inhaling, drawing it up, revitalizing, dropping it into the bones. Keeping your perineum slightly toned, that allowing this energy to pump into you into Hui Yin, spreading out into the pelvis, filling the cauldron, activating into the marrow, into the spinal cord, into the brain. And packing it with each exhalation into the bones, restoring, rebuilding. And you can take a moment now, and as you're breathing and imaging the marrow of the bones, you can image the zhur, the life force, pulsing, and the marrow producing the deep immune forces, the T cells, the macrophages, producing the red blood cells, producing, rebuilding, minute to minute, strengthening, knitting together your life forces into your physical structure. And breathing that energy up through the spinal cord, up into the brain, again, circling the energies in the brain, restoring plasticity to the brain. This brain that can get rid of what is old, create what is new, moment to moment, hour to hour, restoring and energizing this brain. And then just taking one or two more breaths, sending this zhur, this life force, feeling that connection anywhere in your physical body that you think you might need it. And imaging for a moment your skeletal structure. And again, sending this beautiful energy, this zhur, this life force, this earth fire throughout your physical structure. Rebuilding, reshaping anything that needs it. Then allowing yourself to now, with your next inhale, light up the marrow. And as you exhale, let it flow out as a white mist, the Po, the breath body, through every cell, every tissue, every organ, restoring the pattern. And think about that for a moment. Inhaling and feeling as your lungs expand, your connection to the Po of the planet, the atmosphere. And as you exhale, allowing that mist to flow into the tendon muscle channels just under the skin, protecting you from any outside influences that you don't want. Strengthening your ability to recognize what is you and what is not you, what belongs to you and what does not belong to you. What is useful, what is not, what is pure, what is toxic. Breathing and imaging your lungs, filling with this white light, imaging the tendon muscle channels, pulsing with this white light. And as you inhale again, drawing in the essences of the air from the planet, which contains, as you exhale it into your body, the pattern of our species: 2 arms, 2 legs, a head, a face. And you can image that pattern that we receive for our species flowing into you, restoring your physical pattern. And take a moment as you're breathing and letting it flow in to notice any part of your body that is perhaps a little less bright, and send the energy there. Now, it is true that you have your own unique pattern as your divine spirit, that part of you that is seated in the heart, directed, and that which you've received from the E, directed your own unique development in utero. And as you take a few more breaths, you can image that pattern, your own unique pattern, settling over your physical body, sinking into it, flowing through the organs in your own unique pattern, reinforcing it with the essences of the air, with the jour of the planet, the Po. And now, taking a moment and imaging your Hun tucked in the liver on the right side. And this is the part of you that likes and dislikes, that forms conclusions about what you're receiving, what you're experiencing. And let's just very quickly clear any accumulations, starting at the heart and imaging the beautiful integrity of your divine self, imaging its red light, and feeling a strong connection to the seated divine figure within you. Imaging that red light, connecting you to your own purpose, your own joy. And we'll make just a few sounds. Ha, 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 And imaging that divine figure. And allowing your awareness also to go into the lungs, to the the breath body, and allowing yourself to clear any disruptions in pattern, anything that obstructs you from taking in the warmth and vitality from the earth, the prana, life force. Allowing yourself to feel lighter, warmer, as this white light fills you, fills the tendon muscle channels. And imaging, sitting in the lungs, the element of metal, the wise part of you, the wise man, woman, wise being part of you, the part of you that knows what is you and what is not you, what serves your particular purpose and what does not, what is healing and wholesome and what is not. And allowing that part of you to send its blessing throughout your body, reminding you of the pattern of your physical form in this life, of where you begin and where you end. Allowing that part of you to bless you, and bowing back to this wise part of you that keeps you whole, that keeps you true. And now we're going to turn our attention not to the E, we'll come back to that, not to the element of earth, but let's turn our attention now to water, the kidney and the bladder. And you might think in particular about Ming Men, the life force, the gate of fire, which is the fire of your life force. And again, feeling your connection to the earth and imaging the blue of deep waters. We can remove anything that obstructs your connection to this ever abundant source from the planet, transforming fear into readiness, resolution, strength. And seeing within you that strong warrior sage that keeps you moving forward, helps you get up every day with the strength that you need. And imaging and acknowledging that part of you, and how we often are not very compassionate with that part of us, thanking it for its willingness to carry us forward to work. Chew, 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 chew. And allowing yourself to acknowledge this beautiful warrior sage, so strong, so beautiful, courageous, allowing your awareness then to move into the liver, the element of wood, imaging the green and feeling into the feeling part of you, this emotional, thinking, busy, beautiful part of you. And you might image the minister that resides here, that general who directs that part of you that recognizes the moment, recognizes and exists and dances in the moment. And you can transform any anger, any upset, any frustration into that flexible, patient awareness that we have at our best. And imaging the green, shh, shh,
and gold.
and sending a smile to this part of you and receiving its blessing, its ability to dance in the present. But also its connection to remembering the past and foreseeing the possible. And then finally allowing our awareness to move into the belly where the E is housed. The E that is constantly changing, developing, integrating, taking in and incorporating into your growing awareness, bringing you closer and closer to that divine self. And you might take the E for a moment, like the Holy Child, and place it in the arms of the heart, that divine self, holding this developing self that is an expression of that infinite divinity. And allowing it to flow back into the cauldron. And we can think about the E in this life that allows us to take in food, ideas, experiences, and to digest them to carry on the work of learning, incorporating, and imaging that golden light, and taking a moment to transform any overload, any stuckness. Also, to transform any inability to hold on to knowledge and experience, transforming it into this beautiful part of us that takes in, digests, releases, incorporates. The cook at the center of your being. And you might image that part of you opening itself up to new recipes, new experiments. And imaging the divine cook within you, the quartermaster that feeds you and nourishes you. And imaging now the beautiful red of fire rolling through your body, the fire of spirit now, the fire of your divine self, harmonizing everything within you, harmonizing the jour from the earth and your physical form, harmonizing the pattern of your being, harmonizing the emotions, expressing your divine will. And taking a moment, imaging yourself with the glowing energy of the life force pulsing in your brain, in your bones, in your spinal cord, in your kidneys. Interpenetrated by the breath of life that maintains your pattern, by the quickness of feeling and spirit that is your personality, that being connected to your ultimate divinity through the E, through the quartermaster, the cook, which nourishes your personality with what you know. what you have learned, reminds you. Rubbing the cord of the kidneys, taking a deep breath in, closing off your breath, making sure your perineum is toned, rubbing your hands together, building the life force. And as you exhale, curling your hands into fists, circling them 49 times over the kidneys. Letting that life force penetrate inward, filling, restoring, and taking another breath in, closing off the breath. And whenever you're ready, exhaling and rubbing the palms in circles 49 times over the kidneys. And gentlemen, taking your left hand, Shelley, you and I are right, placing it over the lower belly, the cauldron, placing the other hand on top, taking a moment to feel these 5 bodies, to feel the E nestled in the cauldron, the connection to earth, the divinity within. Namaste.
Namaste.
Woo!
Namaste.
So what did you think of that?
That was good. Beautiful.
Hmm.
I have to rush to the doctor.
Oh,
but
good
I'll
luck.
send you. We can figure something out, maybe even tomorrow. But
Yeah.
I'll send you a text. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
I gotta go. Love you guys.
Love you.
Take care, Joseph.
And don't forget to vote, Joseph.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I sent you a
Please,
email.
thank you.
Bye.
Well, that was good. Thank you both.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I am going to go myself. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you, Althea. Good to see you, Shelley.
Good to see you too. Althea, I don't think I'll be at Psychophysical tomorrow, so
Okay. I will have you in my heart, along
thank
with
you so
my
much.
divine self.